two, one.
So in this video, we're going to go ahead and walk you through a demo of HU Chain, which is a service that we created, which deals with a blockchain voter implementation. And before we go ahead and get started, we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name is Derek Major. I'm a senior computer science major at Howard University.
My name is Kyra Swift. I'm a senior computer science major from Howard University.
My name is Justin Stewart. I'm a senior computer science major at Howard University.
My name is Nigel Powell, and I'm a senior computer science major from Howard University.
And we'll go ahead and start off by, showing the sign-in page, assuming that a user was already registered through Howard and was able to vote. We'll go ahead and take you through the sign-in process and the other, service that we provide. So we'll go ahead and turn it over to Nigel, and he'll, speak to how the sign-in page works.
Okay, so here's our sign-in page, and this is where the user will declare whether they are a voter or an admin. And they can do this by selecting the voter login button or the admin login button. But first, we'll log in as an admin. So we'll type in a name, email, and password, and then we'll select from the drop-down menu which election we're voting in, and then we'll hit admin login to log in as an admin.
So what we're viewing here is the admin homepage. The admins have the capability of creating a ballot and viewing the results. We like to guide the users to how they can create the ballot. The first step would be to create a customizable ballot. The second step would be to share that ballot with friends or the organization that they're under. And the third step would be to receive their summarized results from our HU Chain database. Now, this is the screen where the admin would create a ballot to be able to send to their organization. They could either pick their president or their vice president or whatever they want to be in the database, as well as the candidate's name, and they can add multiple candidates. We already have some in the database currently, so we will show you from the voter page just now.
And then once the ballot is customized and all the people that you need actually get loaded into, the database, we'll go ahead and flip over the view to where, we would log in as a student.
Okay, so now we will log in as a voter. So we will type in our full name, email, password, and Bison ID. So it's similar to logging in as an admin, but instead you would just hit voter login. So now we'll type in our Bison ID and then choose which election we'll be voting in. And then we'll hit voter login.
On this screen, we're viewing the voters homepage. So the difference between this and the admin homepage would be they have the ability to vote instead of creating the ballot. We inform them on the steps they can take to vote, which would be to first fill in the ballot that they received, and second, to submit that to HU Chain's database. And then third would be to receive their summarized results from the HU Chain database.
And then as far as being able to actually cast your vote, in the instance of, a general body election, we just wanted to elect a president and a vice president. So we can see here that we already had the two names that were already in for president, as well as the two that was in, for the vice president. But we also earlier added, Dondra Watt and Harry Keeling for the president and vice president. So once you determine who you wanted to vote for, seeing that it actually shows up, you can go ahead and choose who you want to vote for. And once that's done, you'll just hit vote and you'll get a simple pop-up that just says you voted for, Dondra Watt as president and Kyra Swift as vice president. And on the back end, in terms of the blockchain, what's actually happening is that each account would have a displayed amount of ether to be able to handle, gas fees and transactions that occur when doing this. And being that you're able to actually be authorized as, someone who's able to vote, and you get verification on the blockchain that you're able to vote, you're able to, cast who you would like to vote for. So in this instance, let's say that we wanted to vote for Keeling. So you would, in the database, what it's doing is it's basically indexing who you want to vote for, and it's casting that vote. And then down below, we're able to actually see that, the gas fees, the transaction, and the execution cost and seeing that it's actually transacting to, you know, adding candidates or actually voting for these candidates. So on the back end, what it's doing is it's, you know, using a predisposed amount of ether to be able to generate who, you know, who you want to vote for. So once you actually go through with the vote and, you know, the election at the end of it all is actually ended, you know, you can't write any more votes to to the blockchain. So that would mean that it's over. And once that's the case, then you would be able to have a final read of the blockchain to determine, you know, the results for that election.
So on our results page, it works through the blockchain utilizing calls to the database. Once information is stored on the blockchain, it essentially takes a snapshot of the candidates and all of the votes associated with each of the candidates. The data is stored on the blockchain, making it immutable, and the results page calls the blockchain to capture the secured information, and it displays it in these tables for the user to view.
And the results will only be able to be viewed after, you know, the election has ended. So once it does a final read of the blockchain, you know, that would be it for, you know, for that given election. Once you're able to effectively create a ballot and add all the information you'll need to the database, the blockchain will basically take a snapshot of all candidates that are, you know, in that election, the election that it's actually for, and the, you know, the part of the blockchain that's actually being, you know, utilized is the amount of ether that's going to be used to be able to actually handle the smart contracts with voting, being able to determine, you know, how many votes that a certain person got and how many total votes there are. And once the election has ended, all it's doing for the results page is doing a simple read of, you know, what candidates were there, how many votes were there, and what was the total amount of votes. So that ideally is, you know, the demo for how we wanted HU Chain to work.